Anisa ended up coming out against the commentary community, and the commentary community ended up coming back. And I have to say that it got me thinking, why is she hated so much? If it was possible, if Anisa donated her heart to a patient, people would still come out and say that she's heartless. I'm not kidding when I tell you that, because there's so many people that dislike her, and it really got me thinking, like, why is it that people dislike her? So I decided to do a little bit of research to see as to why this is the case. So I kept digging, and I found this TikTok where she's kind of dancing, and she's talking about men. And I can kind of see how people would be upset with this TikTok, especially because she's just lumping all men in the subject. Now in the TikTok, she's talking about a couple of her experiences with men, and she's talking about abuse. And the thing is that she ends up taking this quote that men usually say, which is not all men, and then in a way she kind of flips it and says, well, my abusers were all men. And as you can imagine, it didn't exactly bode well for her, because on her TikTok, that video is nowhere to be seen. Now, usually whenever I see a video with captions like that, I usually tend to believe that someone else put them there, because I always have to think about the worst case scenario, because I just don't trust people online. However, the fact that she doesn't have this video on her TikTok page kind of indicates to me that perhaps this video might have been real. And as you can see on her TikTok page, there's another video there with similar fashion. However, I can guarantee you guys that this video has nothing to do with the video about men. So I was like, all right, this is a pretty interesting TikTok. Let's go ahead and dig some more. So I ended up digging some more, and I ended up finding this page that I was like, this is like the Bible of Anisa hate. Put it this way, man. If you took this entire blog about Anisa hate and you put it into a biography, if it was sold in bookstores, it would be sold in the horror section, because what I read on that vlog was incredible. Criticizing Tana Mongeau for her fashion and providing the idea of a content cop to Ian. Ridiculed Venus Angelic for her eating disorder and accused her of faking her disorder and surgery. This vlogger also goes on to talk about how she scrutinizes Ian's behavior and criticizes it with other people in her Discord. And this blogger claims that she's an art thief. If you take a look at some of the images, it seems like she traces a couple of these images. So as you can see, it's her greatest hits collected in one forum. However, the thing is that I cannot verify all of them, so I'm only going to talk about certain ones that can be verified, because I don't want to end up spreading misinformation. That is not my thing. So the first topic that we can discuss is the Tana Mongeau situation. Everybody knows about the Tana Mongeau situation. However, I didn't know that that was Anisa's idea. So I went to go verify this, and it turns out that it is.
I also take ownership for the Tana. The Tana thing was my.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Was my stupid idea.
Yeah.
I was the one that
suggested, like, we can go to the place.
And I was like, whoa. When I heard that, I was like, that was you? You know, so I looked around to see if she had anything else to say about the matter, and luckily I ended up digging a video, a live from her Instagram, talking about the situation. Now, it's a 10-minute video, so I ended up prying whatever I needed, and I kind of want to go ahead and show you guys what I found.
I don't know, as you get older, you like start to realize how like not necessary it is to put people in uncomfortable situations or do shitty things and still be able to make like really good content.
And then a fan asked her if she would collab with Tana Mongeau.
Would you ever collab with Tana? I don't know. I don't know enough about her. But maybe if she's a nice person. I don't know. I've never met her. But yeah, she doesn't. I don't think she would want to collab with me, to be honest. I wouldn't blame her if she hated me. But again, yeah, I think Tana, respect to Tana. I think she's a very resilient human being.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and link that down below if you guys want to go check it out for yourself. Obviously, everybody's going to have their own interpretation of it. My interpretation of this is that she seems like a person who regrets what she did to Tana. And honestly, yeah, I can agree with that. You know, the whole situation with Tana Mongeau, I think that it was really uncalled for. She was only like 18, 19 at the time. She was very immature. And obviously, she didn't exactly have a set of principles that can guide her into making really good decisions for herself. I also ended up finding the video where she supposedly makes fun of Venus Angelic. I went to watch it, and this is what I found.
So I got the idea to email this basically butcher back. This butcher,
She emailed this butt cheek the other day.
He killed someone with.
He killed someone. He killed someone and then I gotta do my surgery. What the fuck?
Wait, also, when I looked at my receipt, I ate 25 side dishes. I still thought.
What the who is this person?
I don't think that Anisa understands the gravity of the situation that she's kind of poking fun of. Venus Angelic is an unbelievable story, and I know that she doesn't know just how bad it is based off of this clip.
Someone needs to help this girl find help. This is not okay.
It's just sad because she obviously ran away from home. So, like, her parents can't even help her. I think she said she ran away from home and moved to Japan to, like, be with her boyfriend or some shit. So, like, I can't even imagine what her parents must be thinking.
There's a lot of mystery surrounding Venus Angelic's case, but there was a lot of talk online that the mother was very abusive and that she was pimping her daughter out to other men. But I don't know if those claims were ever verified. One thing is for sure though, she almost lost her life due to a weight loss surgery. There was many doctors that told her that if she gets this surgery, it could potentially go bad for her. However, against medical advice, she still found a doctor that was able to perform the surgery and it went completely wrong. So it did not go well for her. And she has photos of herself online of just how bad it was. If you want to check that out, I don't recommend it if you're sensitive to that stuff. But nonetheless though, Anisa doesn't really seem like she knew the situation all that well based off of that clip. I want to give Anisa the benefit of doubt because I don't know her as a person. So I'm going to assume that perhaps she was only doing this because she was attempting to add entertainment value, or perhaps she just reacts whenever she hears situations like this. She reacts in a manner where, you know, it's kind of a nervous laugh. The blogger also claims that Anisa is very critical of Ian's behavior and vents about it in her Discord to people that she trusts. And luckily we have screenshots. At least I think that these screenshots are legitimate. I still think we should view these hypothetically rather than viewing them as actual evidence of screenshots, because even though it does look like a legitimate conversation, we can no longer access the actual source. But nonetheless though, allow me to show you guys what I thought was pretty noteworthy. Apparently iDubbbz burps every 5 to 10 minutes, which this to me seems like hyperbole. I don't think he's burping that much in one day, but nonetheless, I think that anybody who's hanging out with iDubbbz would probably find it annoying if he was belching almost every other hour. We also have this Discord message that reads, he doesn't like responsibility, no. He is a man-child in a lot of ways. Without any context, that actually sounds pretty bad. However, when you actually take a look at the context, you start to understand why she's kind of venting about iDubbbz in this manner. In this Discord message, we can see that Anisa's talking about how she hasn't spoken to Ian for 4 days and they barely talked. And in this message, she even talked about breaking up with Ian. Now, this is all due to communication issues. Now, again, I want to go ahead and remind you that we're looking at these messages hypothetically. Now, I do have one principle that I want to go ahead and share, okay? I absolutely never want to share my relationship with other people because oftentimes people cannot take an objective stance. They always have to have this subjective view as to how somebody should conduct themselves in a relationship. And in these messages, you can see that there are people that are putting ideas in her head talking about that he's not good for you. Most people have no business in other people's relationship. It's very complicated and very complex. So for Anisa to go around telling other people, I don't even blame the other people for thinking that way. I kind of blame Anisa for that. And even Anisa recognizes that what she was doing was terrible. And you can see it in her own messages. And I've said some things in here that would compromise Ian's trust, especially me talking about him or my role in the past. And this message reads, but I've said some things in here that would be awful for Ian if it got out. So if we were to believe these messages are real, then it would seem like she's aware that what she's doing is not good for Ian's brand. And the final thing that we're going to talk about is the art. And if you take a look at these images, you don't exactly have to be a rocket surgeon to determine that these images are obviously traced. Now, my general rule for art is that if you're not profiting off of the art, if you're not working for some large industry that requires you to create original art, then I don't see the problem in creating art that is traced. However, in Anissa's case, I don't know if she's tracing to profit or if she's just tracing for fun. If she's tracing for fun, then I don't see the problem in it. Trust me, there is way more, but it's just way too much information. Overall, I think that whoever her guardian angel was obviously filed for a transfer because no guardian angel defending her. And not only that, like, I think that like people just naturally hate her, not because she's like a dislikable person, whatever the case is because of everything that she's done in the past. You know, 2017 has caught up with her, and it seems to me like it's going to continue to stay. And don't get me wrong, there are still a couple of things that she has done in present time, like that video, that horrendous video about men. I think that was a stupid video, but nonetheless, I think that, at least in my opinion, I would start with just watching how I speak, how I use my words, because oftentimes when she speaks or she talks about a subject, it just sounds like she's ridiculing it. So I don't know if that's her intention, but the way she puts words together, it does not line up well. So anyways, I want to go ahead and leave it there. You know, let me know what you guys think in the description down below or the comment section down below. That's all I have for you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.